Hi, I'm Robert Blackburn, one of the hosts of FEV TV, and we're here at Blackdog Studios in Rochester, New York, continuing the series, The Blackdog Sessions. Every week, we will be interviewing artists locally and from all over the globe, with the goal of showcasing the depth of the talent pool passing through and embedded right here in Rochester. This week, we have the privilege of having Phil Naro with one of his bands, DDrive. After a short interview, they will be giving us an in-studio performance. Let us take you on a journey into the creative world of Phil Naro.
Hi, this is Robert Blackburn from the Blackdog Sessions, and we're here sitting down with Phil Naro, and we're sitting down with Don Mancuso of DDrive. So thank you for sitting down with us today. I appreciate it very much. Over here we have Phil Naro, voice and guitar, Don Mancuso on guitar and vocals, David Sessions on guitar, which I might have to admit is probably all of us wanted to be in a big rock band when we were 17 years old, and this guy is lucky enough to be there. So we'll have to discuss that a little bit here in the near future. Bobby Bond on drums in the back, and JT Taylor on bass. So you are from Rochester,
Yep.
correct?
Yep.
And you currently live in Toronto.
Yep.
Okay. And what made you move there?
I married a Canadian girl back then, and
That's all for the healthcare, right?
no, I never used that stuff.
Never used the healthcare.
So yeah, I stayed there. She had a better job than I did, and she won. So
Good. So Canadian you are now.
Both.
Both? You got dual citizenship.
Yes, I do.
That's a hard thing to achieve, actually. Congratulations to you.
Thanks.
How often do you come to the States?
I come back. I'm here like maybe every 3 times out of the month.
Okay.
Yeah.
3 or 4 times out of the month?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know,
All right.
rehearsing and visiting family.
And visiting family? You have family here still?
Yes.
Oh, great.
Brother Joe and
Great. You perform a lot, I noticed from your website, and how many bands are you currently in at this time? Or
3.
active? Three active bands,
3
and they
active
are
bands. It's DDrive,
the guys here that perform
yes,
today,
right, and the Phil and John Show,
the Phil and John Show, okay.
and Druck Farben.
The Druck Farben DVD that just got released, and if you want to take a look at it, they are Phil's. How would I say, progressive metal?
Progressive rock.
Progressive rock outlay. So, very good. Let's step back in time a little bit.
Okay.
When I first met you, or didn't meet you actually, but when I first gazed upon watching you sing was when I was 18 years old, and it happened to be in Albion in the Albion Elks Club. And you performed with Talus.
It was a small place. It had a small ceiling.
Yes, you remember?
Yeah.
But they made it somehow. They stuck all the light. They shoved all the system in there, and we sat there with speakers, 20 feet wide, blasting our brains out and absorbed.
Yeah, I couldn't believe how much power they had in that place for only like 100. What did it see? Like 100 people.
There was like 150 people. Yeah.
It was crazy.
And that's where I first saw you perform. So we're going to go back now a little bit further, a little bit in history, and we're going to talk a little bit more. During your studio days, you did work with Eddie Kramer.
Yes.
And what was it like working with him in the studio? The same guy that produced Hendrix and Zeppelin.
Oh, it was very educational for sure. I mean, he knew all the tricks. He still knows all the tricks, and just the way he recorded vocals and guitar, and the stories were amazing.
The stories that he would tell?
So good, yeah.
Right.
It was just like,
Is there one story that he told you about that you want to share with us that stuck out, just a short one, that stuck out in your mind?
yeah, he was recording the guitar for, is it Ray Davies from the Kinks? Is that his name? And it's the first time he heard like a real loud electric guitar. He put the mic up there, and I guess he just played a power chord, and it was like, that's when he first like heard the sound, yeah,
of rock. That's cool. That's a cool one. And you've with 15 CDs over the span of your career that you released, which one do you hold close to you, like that you feel is your best expression of your creative process?
DDrive and Druck Farben.
Okay, so one is rock and one as progressive rock,
yeah.
and you feel that those two forms of music is closest to your heart at this time.
Yes. And,
very good.
I always wanted to be in a classic rock band, and I always wanted to be in a progressive rock band, and I always wanted to do an acoustic thing. So
You've got all three worlds.
I got all three, yeah. So I've been just focusing on the three there.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Okay, you also received a Daytime Emmy Award for singing on a song called 16.
It's a cartoon animated show.
Cartoon animated show that was on Cartoon Network, and it was on...
it was all over the world, and it was
right.
played everywhere. It's done in different languages, too.
And what was it like to receive that award? And
well,
how, as far as your career, how do you feel that it solidified you? Man, this is what I do. Did that help, or did it not help?
Oh no, it helped. It helped. And the funny part was like a lot of friends of mine. They got all the young kids, and they didn't believe I sang the song. So they said, "Well, call them up and let them sing over the phone." It's like, oh.
And that was it.
That was, and yeah, was it. And I'm singing the song on my phone. They go, "Oh, that's him. That's him." It's like, it's just.
So they got you in the studio, sang the tune, and now that did you have any writing credit for that song?
No, I just can't.
They just used your voice.
Just used my voice, and I got in. I sang a song. It was done in a half hour, and then 5 years later, it won an Emmy. So
isn't that amazing?
I wish it was. I wish that was that simple all the time, but it's just
right.
You know.
We're going to stay in the history mode for a minute. I read somewhere in all the information that I studied on you that in 2 years, in 1980 to 1982, you performed 600 shows. Give me a glimpse of what life was like for you from 1980 to 1982 when you're, basically working 10 months a year. Performing. You're performing 10 months a year.
Yeah,
Dallas.
It was the manager didn't want us to get off the road. We just played and played, and we had to release that Live Speed on Ice record, and even the label even wanted to just keep us going and going.
But you toured the world on that record, is that correct?
We toured all the United States and Canada. We were ready to go to Europe, and then Billy got the offer to join David Lee Roth.
Right. Okay, and that's what put a halt to that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
sure.
Never got to play in Europe with the band.
That's
even though we sold quite a few units in Japan and Europe and all this, we just never got over that.
Okay. Very good. As I stated earlier, I saw you in 1982, and I've never forgotten it. It's just I feel like I've stepped back about 31 years in time here. And so, Donnie, here from Rochester, again, another musician who I sat as an 18-year-old watching Cheater, and who else is there? Black Sheep, right? And so, tell me about DDrive. Fill us in a little bit about DDrive. What's DDrive up to these days?
Just working on our 4th release.
Okay.
We actually have 3 songs we're going to be putting out, 2 of which we did today on the live stuff for the sessions.
Great. I can't wait to hear it.
We did a remake of a Black Sheep song, and we did another remake of a Talus tune, Sink Your Teeth.
All right, which replayed, yep.
Yep, and we have another original coming out with those 2, a new one that we're doing.
Okay, good. I can't wait to hear it. Was that performed today, the new original, or is that something we'll have to wait for?
No, that's something that's in the oven.
I'm really excited.
It's almost ready, though.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So I want to thank you all for joining me here. I have, once again, I got one last question for this young 17-year-old here. So tell me what your best experience has been working with these seasoned pros. I mean, when I was 18, I know that I would have loved to have been in your shoes. So tell everybody what it's like to be amongst these guys that are just so much history behind them.
It's really great, working with Phil and Don. Just so much experience, so much to learn,
Do you find you're absorbing all the tricks of the trade and staying focused and all that stuff?
Definitely.
Okay, good. And have you performed live with them yet?
Yeah.
And what show did you play?
I've played 4 or 5 shows.
4 or 5 shows?
Opened for REO Speedwagon.
Opened up for REO down by my house there at the casino, right?
Yep.
At the casino, right? You guys clogged up my whole streets there
And
that was DDrive down there, huh? What a nice show! That would have been a great show for you.
Instead of graduating, you played
12,000 people.
12,000 people, yeah, it was nice.
Instead of graduating, you went and performed?
Yeah. I missed it.
Boy, the heavens are shining on you, my friend. So that's good. That's good.
That's awesome.
And I would have chosen the same thing.
Yeah.
I would. And well, thank you guys so much for coming down and joining us in the Blackdog Sessions. I had a great time hearing you all play, and I'm sure that everybody that we do show this to will.
And I remember recording here in 80.
Talk to me about that for a second.
It was 82 or 83 or something like that. Talus was recording in here, and I remember when I was sitting in the couch, like, well, this place looks really familiar. And we worked with Pepe Marcello. He was producing one of our. He was producing
one of Talus's songs.
Yeah, and it never came out because obviously Billy Joe and Roth. And so, but I remember this place. It was because Metallica was here before us or after. I can't remember what.
It would have been 19. They were here in 81.
81. So,
yep.
Okay, so we're here after them.
You were here after them, so.
Yeah. Because they recorded one of their albums here.
They did Kill 'Em All in the studio, right?
Yeah.
In this space. There's a lot of whole stories that go with that. Maybe I'll get them to come in and sit for Blackdog Sessions.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, thank you all for being here, and it was an honor to see you again after 31 years, and I really look forward to seeing more that you have to be creative with in your music and stuff.
Yeah,
okay?
we're just going to keep on going on.
I guess we have no choice.
We have no choice. It's the only thing we want to do. And so.
Very good. All right, this is Robert Blackburn for the Blackdog Sessions, and we're wrapping it up with DDrive and Phil Naro and Don Mancuso. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time. what is your earliest musical memory?
I think sitting in my parents' house and watching other people play instruments, it was fascinating that someone could do that, and I got hooked on it right then and started, I want to learn guitar.
Want to learn guitar? And what age was this?
I was like 6.
6 years old?
Yeah.
And did your parents go out and buy you a guitar right away?
They did, yeah, and they got me lessons with this old Italian gentleman, and I learned how to read and write music, and
good.
Yeah.
And, all right, excellent, very good. And what was the first song that you ever played in a band that you were in?
Wow, it had to be. It was probably a Deep Purple song in the first band I was in. That was when Deep Purple was just coming of age, and
Smoke on the Water, was it?
It might have been. Yeah, it might have been that. It was either that or Lazy.
Very good. And what was the first song that you played in the first band that you were in?
All Shook Up, Elvis.
Elvis?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, awesome.
It's great.
And what was that? When was that? What age was that?
That was like 8 years old.
8 years old? God, that's a long time ago. Yeah. All right. Now, if you had your dream band, I mean, like anybody in the whole world, live or dead, and you had, a drummer, like if say a Phil and a trio, okay? Who would that band be?
Okay, John Bonham on drums, and it'd be let's see, Jimmy Page on guitar, and on bass guitar, John Paul Jones.
Well, it sounds like the only other person that got that kind of luxury was Donovan, right?
Yeah.
Donovan's early records was all those three gentlemen who were studio musicians in England.
Yeah, absolutely.
And right, and but that was the one that rings out in my head, that you'd be as lucky as Donovan at that point, right? So, all right, very good. So you're a Zeppelin fan as big as I am, obviously.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
We're both about a half century old, and I know this is kind of a silly question, but I think it's a great question.
5 years older than you.
I know, but we're both about a half a century, and that's good. We're halfway done, and we're accomplishing the things we like to do, and we stuck with it. And that's, I think, the most important thing that I noticed about you when I did my research was that you, like I, just stayed focused on one thing and kept going with it. So where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Still doing the same thing. That's all I want to do.
That's all I want to do.
I just want to write music, play in a band, and just be a rock star.
And there's no stopping us, is there?
No stopping
at all.
No.
Okay, Donnie, you ready? Where do you see yourself? Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Basically in the same position.
Just playing?
I want to be creative and making music and playing with a bunch of great guys and other great musicians, learning from them.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, well, this is Robert Blackburn here with the Blackdog Sessions. We just finished the Blackdog Sessions 4 questions with Rochester rock legends Don Mancuso and Phil Naro. And we'll catch you next time.